Welcome, everyone. Our worship service will begin shortly, but now please take a moment to look around the sanctuary to locate the nearest exit sign. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please proceed calmly through the exit you see and head toward the parking lot. If an evacuation becomes necessary, please also keep an eye out for others who may have mobility challenges or be unfamiliar with our church. Should an emergency arise while our children are upstairs, they will be escorted from the building in the company of a staff member. Our community takes care of one another. Well, good morning again. My name is Bill Bestpitch. I use he, him pronouns and respond to just about anything. I have the honor of being your worship associate this morning. Please take a moment to put your mind, your spirit, and your cell phone in worship mode. We welcome everyone here and online to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke this morning. We're so glad you're all here today, and we hope you choose to stay for fellowship following the service. Let's take a second to turn, stand up if you wish, and connect with everyone watching at home. For those of you online who wish to share your joys and concerns during the lifeline portions of the service, please put them in the chat in the next 15 minutes. Our church is served by our minister, the Reverend Jen Raffensperger. This week, we are pleased to welcome Don Wilson as a guest in our pulpit. Don is president of Evergreen Memorial Trust, serving the Roanoke Valley for more than 44 years. He currently serves as the vice president of the Virginia Cemetery Association. He's a past president of the Kiwanis Club of Roanoke, a past board member of the Historical Society of Western Virginia, and past president of the local Office on Aging, where he continues to serve as a Meals on Wheels volunteer and to recruit others to volunteer. We're also pleased this morning to have Morgan Martin join us as our guest musician. We acknowledge that our church resides on the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan nations and was later farmed and developed through slave labor. We recognize and respect the ongoing connection to this land by generations of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. May our gratitude and fellowship here echo and honor that rich history. And please join me in reciting our words of welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness, overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself, or eager to engage with others, all who welcome all are welcome here. And our covenant, we commit to supporting each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Martin. My pronouns are she, her, and my stage name is Morgan LaFool. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I actually was a Unitarian music director for the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Oxford, Mississippi for many years. We did a couple services in Tupelo as well. So I love this hymnal. It is my favorite hymnal of any congregation or denomination that I've been a part of. So I was really excited to get to pick some hymns from it to do with you all. I wanted to say a few words about my offering now. So I'm doing a song I wrote probably around 2012, 2014. I started writing this song on a trip with my brother to visit our grandmother. I lived in St. Petersburg, Florida. She lived across the state. So we were driving across, and I had an inspiration for a song. I had him write down the words, "Oranges on the side of the road." She died maybe 6 months after I started, just with that single line. So I wrote this song for her memorial, and I put it on an album I recorded in 2014. And it's been a really important song for everyone in my family. It's the only time my sister-in-law has seen my brother cry is when I performed it. And my mom regularly listens to it and has been begging for me to re-record it since 2014 because the vocals were a little too soft. So I'm excited that this has been an opportunity for me to resurrect that old song. So our first hymn is going to be Break Not the Circle, number 323. Give me a sec, I have to put on my finger picks. I'll play through the melody once on the banjo, and then we can all sing together. Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not that circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt. But will that human bonds remain unbroken? Join then the movement of that love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
Good morning. The opening words this morning are entitled Memorial Day, and it's by Emily Green Weatherby. We keep the memory of our heroes green, deep in our hearts that patriot virtues live. On each Memorial Day, in reverence, love lay on their graves your garlands, and in their honored names the tribute give. Sweet May, with breath of flowers and song of birds, scatters her fragrance on the balmy air. We mark the spot where our dead soldiers sleep and cover with a flowery mantle rare. Their valor true and deeds without a stain, in grateful hearts the memory of their glory, engraven deep, forever shall remain.
I'm going to ask our soon-to-be board president, Cindy Lawler, to help me by lighting the chalice. We now join with Unitarian Universalist churches and congregations across the nation and around the world as we light our chalice, the symbol of our faith and the beacon of hope within our living tradition. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. I see we have a couple of our children who are usually with us on Sunday mornings here, and I hope you'll come down and join me for a few moments. Hello. You may not see one on my head, but I'm wearing a lot of hats today, so thanks for being with us. So y'all ready for school tomorrow? No? Why not? What? It's Memorial Day, so you won't have any school? So what does Memorial Day mean? What's a memorial? Recognition of others? And who are we recognizing on Memorial Day? Dead soldiers and sailors and airmen and even Marines. As an old Army veteran, I just have to get that in. Why do we recognize them? Why do we have Memorial Day? They're important. I think it's because every one of those service members that was killed while serving our country was somebody's child. Many of them were somebody's husband or wife. Many were parents, brother or sister, an uncle or an aunt or a cousin. And all those family members want us to remember their loved ones. That's why we have Memorial Day. Memorial and remember both come from old words that are very similar, just like most of our words actually come from older words. So a lot of them from languages that nobody even speaks anymore, but that's where they come from. So remember and memorial are very closely related. So we're going to go on upstairs with Claire and Bonnie, and I think they're going to talk to you some more about what Memorial Day is all about. Hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. You know, we often hear that being prepared for war is the best way to ensure peace. And sometimes even that war is necessary in order to achieve peace. Our reading and our benediction this morning challenge that idea. I'm going to share another poem, also called Memorial Day, this one by Clara Ann Thompson. Go, for 'tis memorial morning. Go with hearts of peace and love. Deck the graves of fallen soldiers. Go, your gratitude to prove. Gather flowers and take them thither, emblem of a nation's tears. Grateful hearts cannot forget them in the rush of passing years. Strew the flowers above their couches. Let thy heart's affection blend with the dewy buds and blossoms that in fragrant showers descend. Strew the flowers above the heroes, slain for loving friends and thee. Canst thou find a better offering for these sons of liberty? While the buds and blooms are falling, earnest hearts are asking, why? In a tone, though low and gentle, yet as ardent as a cry. Why must precious lives be given that our country may be free? Is there not a nobler pathway to the throne of liberty? Can we choose no nobler watchword than the ringing battle cry, harbinger of strife and bloodshed? Must we sin that sin may die? Long ago to far Judea came the blessed Prince of Peace. Shall we ever heed his teaching, that these wars and feuds may cease?
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today to your congregation. And thank you, and happy Memorial Day. Is that right? Happy Memorial Day? Is that something that we want to say? Is that the right phrase for this weekend that's dedicated to remembering the war dead? Memorial Day is not Veterans Day. Veterans Day is to celebrate, as the epitaph on Jackie Robinson's gravestone says, a life is not as important except in the impact it has on others' lives. In other words, achievements and possessions matter less than the difference a person makes in the lives of others. Who has influenced your life? And are they worthy of your love and remembrance? I believe they are. And beyond warm feelings, where do we go to express that appreciation once they're gone? I believe that place is a cemetery. Yesterday, Evergreen Burial Park observed Memorial Day with the ceremony in our Chapel of Light mausoleum, and we remembered and held up the veterans and soldiers that didn't come home, who sacrificed their blood and treasure for our freedom. Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. It began as a way to honor soldiers who died in the Civil War. It later grew into the nation's foremost annual observance for mourning and honoring servicemen and women who died in all wars and conflicts. The first known Memorial Day observance took place in May of 1868, and a century later, Memorial Day became a national holiday by an act of Congress. And this is how we observe the remembrance of our war dead on the last Monday of May. The early tradition of decorating graves with flowers, wreaths, and flags continues. And Memorial Day remembers a time to remember those who died in service to our country. It's also an opportunity to reflect on the cost of war and the value of peace. As a cemeterian, Memorial Day is our busiest, most active holiday in our cemetery. It surpasses Mother's Day and Easter with the number of visitors that we receive. People that have loved ones buried in a cemetery come to pay their respects, but many people in the community come through the cemetery to see all of the flags that are marking veterans' graves. Why do we feel a connection to our heritage and our ancestors? And what is the reason Arlington National Cemetery is one of the most visited sites in our nation's capital? I believe that we go to great lengths to pay homage to perfect strangers, but we also need to remember to revere our own flesh and blood. Honoring your loved ones keeps their spirit alive. Honoring our nation's heroes celebrates their achievements, their values, their sacrifice. Digital memorials have become common these days, or virtual cemeteries. It allows us to use technology to pay our respects when we're half a world away or just around the corner. My cemetery allows individuals to post memories and photographs, videos, or simply sentiments on that individual's personal memory page. But you can also go to findagrave.com and see virtual cemeteries and virtual graves and place flowers on those graves. The cemetery and funeral profession is one of the oldest avocations. Since the dawn of man, society has cared for its dead. And we know this because of paintings and carvings in ancient caves. So how has the role of memorialization in a cemetery evolved and changed over the years, especially the United States, a relatively young country compared to others? You know, it used to be that in urban areas, burials took place in the church graveyard. But eventually, as our cities grew, those cemeteries became filled and full. And that is when the movement for rural cemeteries became common. The movement to rural cemeteries began with generally highly landscaped and laid out and planned green areas that served double duty as a park. Because in those days, there were no city parks. There was no Wasena Park. It was common practice to gather in those cemeteries for outings or picnics. Families would gather at the family lot together for an outdoor activity and to pay respects to their friends and community. Family lots were marked with large monuments, works of art that were carved from granite or marble. True works of art. And at that time, our funeral services were different because visitations and funerals took place at the family home, in the parlor. As America expanded westward, the memorial park concept became popular. These cemeteries featured broad and gently rolling lawns with only bronze flower vases standing above the lush green grass. The idea was that no one would be judged by the size of their headstone, and that all would be equal in death. Salesmen went door to door selling cemetery plots and peace of mind. And as the nation grows, so did the need for burial places, still marked with pomp and ceremony, prayers and singing, because that was the tradition. After all, everyone wanted to get to heaven. Traditions are hard to break, but easier to bend. And this is where cremation enters the picture. In my industry, no trend has reshaped memorialization more than the rise of cremation. In some parts of our country, over 70% of the final dispositions are cremation. And many of those urns are not placed permanently in a traditional cemetery. Instead, we are increasingly seeing home cemeteries. I'm not anti-cremation, but I wonder if we understand the predicament we're getting in and the next generations when we eliminate these traditions, when we eliminate the rituals that have served us so well for so long. A situation that is foreign to us. Death is not something that we experience on a very regular basis, or any kind of a regular basis. But when we fail to publish an obituary or a death notice, it's like the funeral that never ends. We run into a stranger at the grocery store and inquire about his wife, only to find out that she died months ago. The funeral that never ends. It's not only an embarrassment to your friend, but it also picks at the scab of the wound of the loss that we have been feeling. They say time heals all wounds, But this is a hurt that's difficult to face by oneself. I am always talking about the value of a place to go, a permanent place to go, because I truly believe that we all need a place to go when we need to say hello to our mom, or gather with friends and family on a birthday or an anniversary or a special time. It makes us feel good. We have the freedom to go to see our loved one in a peaceful place. Instead, I fear that so many of us have a constant reminder of the loss that we feel when we see the urn on the mantle that Hollywood has projected upon us. The need for comfort is the same. But home cemeteries seem like self-punishment to me. We're pretty strong animals, or so we seem, or think we are. But where do we turn when we can't go it alone? YouTube? I say the professionals that do this sort of thing for a living are the people that we need to remember and to turn to, because that's what we do every day. Memorials for the dead have changed and evolved, so now there's something for everyone. Be a tree, scattering gardens, burial on the family lot, cremation niches. Your conscience is clear when you know you did all you could and didn't pass it off to your kids. I fear that when we start having multiple urns or loved ones in our home cemetery, that it becomes a dilemma for someone down the road. What are we going to do with Grandma? I didn't know her. The British statesman William Ewart Gladstone said, "Show me the manner in which a nation or community cares for its dead. I will measure exactly the sympathies of its people, their respect for the laws of the land, and the loyalty to high ideals." Gladstone is calling on us to remember our moral responsibility to respect traditions and societal values. We have Memorial Day to lift up and remember the war dead, but we don't need to set aside a specific day to remember our loved ones. If we take Gladstone's words to heart, every day is Memorial Day for everyone we love and hold dear. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you, Morgan. That was lovely. We come now to that time in our service each week when we invite you into generosity. The work of this church community is only possible with your generous contributions to our ongoing work to keep love at the center of all we do. The ushers will now gratefully accept the offering.
Frost is stretched down south. We drove from the Gulf to Jupiter. We have family there, our Nana, who no longer tells us how much she needs us, but silently prays we'll learn before it's too late, she'd say. All of these oranges on the side of the road, fallen from the frost, perfect and left like Easter eggs for us to collect and show to our mothers. Clouds nimbus and defined, easy for my mind to morph into shapes that they weren't before. Sometimes I see her, she speaks the things I wish I'd said, and I sing to her this song. All of these oranges on the side of the road, fallen from the frost, perfect and left like Easter eggs for us to collect and show to our mothers. Casey and I fall into ancient conversations, fall into silence, thought, the sandy rows of the blighted groves. And I turn to him and say that where we are now is where we'll always be. All of these oranges on the side of the road, like the tree in her backyard we used to climb. It's been gone now for so long, but we're in those branches still dropping rhymes. All of these oranges on the side of the road, and the pink like lemonade mingles the sky, traveling to her this one last time. you.
Thank you.
I'm Jane Harrison from the Caring Committee, and one of the duties of the Caring Committee is to share the joys and the concerns of the congregation on Sunday mornings. If you have a joy or concern you want to share, you can contact the church office, you can contact somebody from the Caring Committee, or you could write it in the Lifelines book, which we leave on the altar. Today I have two joys and concerns. Carol Hendrick, 22-year-old grandson, Grayson Hendrick, was hit by a truck while crossing during a crosswalk in Harrisonburg this past Tuesday. He was airlifted to Charlottesville, where he was treated for a broken collarbone, lacerations, bruises, and a concussion. He was released Tuesday morning, is at home with his parents in Roanoke, resting and recovering. And the second message was from YouTube, and I'll read it as it was written. An anonymous UUCR member is asking for thoughts and prayers as they look for employment, so far with no success. If you have a joy or a concern in your heart and you want to share it this morning, please come and light a candle from our chalice, and we can use both sides of the altar. Thank you.
And as we do each week, I will light one candle for all those joining us on YouTube. We know that you can't be here with us in body, but your spirit is still here. And this morning I light one more candle for all those who are remembering that military member who did not come home. In deepest sympathy, I'll light for them. As now we draw close to the end of our time together in worship this week, we turn our attention from the joys and concerns within our hearts and to the work of the week ahead. We'll begin with a few announcements. On Saturday, May 30, we are proud to host Roanoke Reparations Group's presentation, Racism and Repair, from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. with Reverend Vernie Bolden, Justice and Mercy Minister for the Presbytery of the Peaks and pastor of Roanoke's Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church. This in-person presentation will be here in our sanctuary. If you are interested in virtual attendance, there is a QR code to scan on the flyer posted on our community bulletin board across from the name tag board. Next week, on Sunday, May 31, our Pride Committee will be holding a bake sale to raise funds for Ray Franks, a loving father to a transgender child and a non-binary child who is cycling from the Florida Keys to Maine to raise awareness on vital issues affecting the LGBTQIA+ community and the challenges especially facing the trans community in these times. He's also raising funds for two wonderful organizations, Lambda Legal and the Trevor Project. Please plan to pick up a few tasty treats for yourself or for others and support this wonderful cause. We will hold the congregation's annual meeting on Sunday, June 7, following the service. Please keep an eye on your email so that you don't miss the documents to review prior to our meeting. And for those who may be interested, there will be a Memorial Day service sponsored by the City of Roanoke and the Roanoke Valley Veterans Council tomorrow morning starting at 11:30 in Green Memorial United Methodist Church down on 2nd Street, corner of 2nd and Church. We're hoping that the weather will allow us to place 2 wreaths out at the War Memorial across 2nd Street at the end of the service, so keep your fingers crossed even if you can't make the ceremony. And we now welcome Cindy Lawler to give us the latest update from our hard-working board.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy Lawler. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your president-elect for 1 more month. And these are the board and others related to board work have been very, very busy. Celeste Lee updated us on the building's capital improvements progress. So rather than the capital campaign committee, we've now moved on to the capital build project committee because we're in the building phase. They've met with the architect Hughes and Associates and decided to move forward with a team build approach where the contractor works very closely with the architect to help stay on budget. The committee interviewed 3 contracting firms and then unanimously agreed to recommend MB Construction. The board agreed unanimously to accept that recommendation. And more updates will be, I'll be working with the committee to keep some of this information up on the website under the capital campaign page. So stay tuned for that. The wondrous Judy and Charlie reported on the conclusion of this year's pledge drive. The grand total of pledges from our generous congregants is $321,000 and an additional $573 because I couldn't say that all together. We had 143 pledge units representing a 13.4% increase from last year's campaign. That is just outstanding. And thank you very, very much. Not only does that fund our operational budget, which is all the core stuff we just really have to keep doing all the time, but inflation, of course, makes that more expensive every year, so we've covered that inflation gap, and we raised money for some really important aspirational goals that we can now move forward on, so thank you. Let's see, Sheila Barnhart, our VP Finance, reviewed adjustments to the proposed budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal year in anticipation of our June 7th annual meeting congregational vote. So during that meeting, it's just a yes or a no. We're not going to be going over budget line items. It's in your packet, and thank you to those, in fact, who took time out to comment on some of the budget, and we've heard from you, and we appreciate your interest, and looking forward to spending that money. Let's see. Our VP Finance brought forth a recommendation from our treasurer, Carl Reed, to create a new budget surplus reserve. It's a new account and it has accounting rules around it where we can put any surpluses each year in that and carry it over for expenditures in the following year. We actually haven't been able to do that. We've had to round our budget up every year right on track, but if we didn't spend as much in one area, we can, or if we happen to get a windfall of some sort, we've got some place now where we can put it and spend it the next fiscal year. So that seems like a small accounting thing, but it's really helpful. Our incredible clerk, Lynn Yates, reviewed procedures for the annual meeting, which is again taking place on Sunday, June 7th after the regular service. You should have received the 2 emails actually on Friday. This year we decided to split up what was always kind of a humongous PDF into 2. One is the annual reports, which is kind of looking back at the past fiscal year and all the committees and their activities. Has a wealth of information in there. If you're relatively new to the church, it's a good way to see all the different committees and all the work that's been done and some plans looking forward. And then there's the annual meeting packet, which has all the stuff you need to review in order to come to the annual meeting and vote. So there's the nominees for open leadership positions as well as the budget. And thank you, Lynn. That is a huge work. Can we get a round of applause for Lynn? Voting will take place at the meeting, but if you won't be able to attend, you may ask a member to vote for you by proxy. You can request an absentee ballot for yourself, otherwise from Lynn no later than Friday, June 5th. So again, see Lynn Yates for information about how to vote by proxy or get an absentee ballot. A proposal to hire Blue Honey Rose Graphics, which is a local woman-owned design firm. We've hired them to develop a graphics and branding kit from UUCR. So that's just going to put some unity on our logos, on our taglines. We're going to get stuff that we can just throw up on social media posts and the website and our printed materials. Our tents, we can get t-shirts, we can do stuff, and it'll all be kind of a unified grab and go design element. So again, a small thing, but I think that will really help UUCR continue to make impression as we're doing things. And let's see, yes, that's it. So members are always welcome to attend the board meetings, which occur on the second Tuesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. in the Olin Room. If you have an item for consideration, please contact the board president, that's Gordon, one more month, or me in July in advance so we can put you on the agenda. Thank you very much.
And Cindy, if you will not go too far, I'll ask you to help me one more time. Extinguishing the chalice, which we don't leave burning in the sanctuary because we're always carrying it lit within our hearts. Our benediction this morning is a poem entitled Far Too Long by Fear Divided by John Andrew Story. It's number 160 in our hymnal. Far too long by fear divided, we have settled with the sword quarrels which should be decided by the reconciling word. May at last we cease from warring, barriers of hate remove, and earth's riches freely sharing, found the dynasty of love.
Our closing hymn will be 108, My Life Flows On, an Endless Song. I'll play through it once on the banjo. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear that music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are ringing. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing? Yeah, for you.